Happy Tuesday, everybody. Melinda here, licensed professional counselor and owner at Personal Growth with Melinda Motter Lucas. Today, we are going back. A couple months ago, I did a review on a weighted blanket I got, and I promised you guys that I would get back on in a couple months and give you my review after I had been using it for a while. So that is what we are going to do today. I'm shaking the whole camera, so I need to calm down. If you guys could see how I prop up the iPad, I am not an official YouTube star because there I go. Right now, the iPad is propped up on my bed, so I have my suitcase on top of my bed, and then the iPad is on top of my suitcase. And then so that the iPad doesn't fall like backwards, I have a 7-Up bottle like propped up against the iPad so that it won't go backwards. Yeah, that's how we roll. So anyways, okay, so before we get started, I want to show you guys the guided journal. It's ready. It's going out. I'm mailing out a bunch tomorrow. If you haven't got yours, you can order it on the Facebook page, Personal Growth with Melinda Motter Lucas. This is such a powerful tool. Journaling, if you don't already do it, can be so helpful. Get your thoughts out. Look at them on paper. They can make so much more sense than letting them just swirl around in your brain like a tornado. And one of the biggest, things I have when I ask people to journal or people are talking about journaling is they don't know what to journal, or their journaling becomes negative. And they journal about negative stuff. They talk about negative stuff in it. And I have put together 30 days of prompts to get you thinking about important topics and help you dive really deep into them and get you inspired and feeling and being the best you. So this is ready and on the Facebook page if you want to get a copy. So now let's talk about the weighted blanket. So I've been using it a couple of months, and I, check out the first video because I had kind of put in some things I was thinking about as far as like, I couldn't decide if I wanted it on top of my comforter or under my comforter, and, just things like that. So after using it a couple months, here are the things that I have kind of noticed and that I would share with you guys. The first thing is I got my weighted blanket too heavy. So I looked at the chart, I went by the guidelines, and I ordered within the weight limit that it said. But if I could do it over again, I ordered a 20-pound blanket and I would probably get 15, maybe even 12. So it's too heavy. Just be really cautious of that, I guess, if you're going to order. I thought that if I just went by the guidelines, it would be good. But for me, it's too heavy. I noticed that on a night that I might be like trying to wiggle around more in my sleep, that when I wake up, my neck will hurt or like my hips will hurt. I don't know, maybe it's like I'm trying to move and I can't, so I'm pulling muscles or something. I don't really know how to explain it, but that's the best I can. So the first thing is I would get something lighter if I could do that again. The second thing that I wanted to say was a really great question I got from somebody after watching the YouTube video, and they asked if my blanket got hot. They had heard that people were getting hot under their weighted blankets. I personally am pretty much always a cold person. Like, as soon as it gets cold out, if you see someone like frantically running and screaming through the mall parking lot trying to get to their car, it's probably me, because I'm always cold and I hate being cold. But in general, I would not say that this is a hot weighted blanket. Like, I've seen some of them that have the backing is like a plush or a fleece. This weighted blanket does not have that. So here it is again. And both sides are the same, and the beads in it, when I put this weighted blanket on, because I don't sleep with it anymore, I'm gonna buy a lighter weight one to sleep with because I did love it. But I do like sit under it, like if I'm working in my bed, or reading, I'll still sit under it, and I still love that. And the beads in it are actually kind of cold at the beginning, and it warms up, but it's not hot to sit under. So I also wanted to make sure that I answered that question on here because it was a really, really good question. So those are the two things that after using my weighted blanket, I have definitely learned, and I wanted to hop back on here and let you guys know. Other things, exciting. I am going to turn all of these YouTube videos into also podcasts. Some people were saying, when asking, do you have a podcast? And I'm like, no, but I love podcasts, so I should get these on a podcast, just so you're able to more easily listen to them in the car while you're working out. So my husband and I are working on that right now, getting these all onto a podcast, and hopefully that'll be up soon. And that's all. I can't think of anything else. So, all right. See you guys next Tuesday.